Welcome, city builders. I'm Canadian Moose, and in today's episode, we are going to redesign the fire hall from the last episode thanks to City Planner Plays. Name some streets with your amazing suggestions, continue our detailing journey through the downtown, and add the Royal Canadian Legion. This is Grand Deerandon, Alberta. To start, I wanted to shout out a brand new map on the workshop by the talented creator Ancient Swan. In a new segment on the channel, I'm calling Canadian Finds. Here you can see an overview of the map, and I think it would be the perfect location for some beautiful small town builds. Swan has set the map to be around 11,000 years ago and is reimagining this area. It's an awesome map showcasing some beautiful Canadian history, so if you are looking for a new map, consider checking out Sturgeon Lake First Nation by Ancient Swan. Link in the description of this video. I hope you enjoyed this new segment that will occur anytime some new Canadian related things appear on Paradox Mods. Now, back to the video. Welcome to Inspiration Station. Today, a portion of the build takes place at the same fire hall. So if you are curious about the inspiration for that, I would recommend checking out my previous video on it. Let's head over to Grand Prairie, Alberta, and see if we can find a Royal Canadian Legion that fits the vibes of this city. This one on 101 Ave fits the vibe perfectly. And I know we have an asset placed for the Legion already that is a bit different. I think I have a better asset we can use to replace this and fit it more closely to the one here in Grand Prairie. Next up, I wanted to explore this portion of 100 Ave in downtown Grand Prairie, specifically the part where the curb pushes out for the crossing, allowing places to sit and relax and catch the bus. Alright, let's hop off this CN freight train and head into the game. I wanted to start today's build with the naming of the streets. The first street will be named Francis Pega Megabow Boulevard. Francis Pega Megabow, MM and 2 bars, was an Ojibwe soldier, politician, and activist in Canada. He was the most highly decorated Indigenous soldier in the Canadian military history, and the most effective sniper of the First World War. Francis Pega Megabow Boulevard is taking over Alberta Street and will be the main arterial through the city. Next up, we have a whole fleet of great suggestions coming from INF SWCC. They recommended we turn Ivy into Railroad Street, Summit becomes South Street, Aspen becomes Courtney Drive, Hemlock and Orchard become River Street, and Amity becomes Station Street. So let's get these added and keep the name suggestions coming. As the city grows, we will need more suggestions. And if you did suggest a name and it hasn't been added yet, do not worry. Again, as the city grows, the names will be added. I also wanted to take some time here to mention that we are officially using the road wear adjuster mod. So let me know what you think of it. Obviously, it does make the roads look very plain, like very vanilla here and plain. But once we start adding decals here and we start covering it up with dirt and wear, I do think that it actually does end up looking better. But it is forcing me to have to come in and add a little bit more detail, especially around the edges here, because if you do a little bit in the center, it looks fine. But I feel like we could add more detail sort of around the curbs and whatnot here. But yeah, in case anybody noticed that the roads are looking different, that is the road wear adjuster mod. So with the main street, I wanted to see if we could come in and sort of recreate the vibes that we saw on the Inspiration Station portion. And I think we do have a way. So we're going to have to basically mark off the spot where we want the cutout to be. And this would be the spot for people to sit, and it will eventually be a bus stop as well too. But the thing with it, if I go into the bus right now, because it does create it for us, which is nice, but it's far bigger than I want it to be. So right now, if I come in, look at that. It takes up the whole segment, which is not ideal. Now, if we come in and let's use the smallest network we have, which I believe is going to be the pedestrian path. So let's come in here, and again, we are going to have to change up some of our brick detailing here. It is what it is. Let's turn on Anarchy with Control A, and let's draw out the path right about here. Looks good. Yeah, right about there. Now, that did destroy some of this stuff. I will fix that. We'll come in and we'll get that sorted. But for now, there's our pathway, and then let's put another anchor point. Yeah, right about there looks good, actually. Let's do that. Can we get it? That's probably the closest. That's good. I think that works out well. It also lines up with sort of lines up there with the concrete path. So that's nice. With those two added, if we go in now with our bus stop, let's take a look at what that could possibly look like. And yeah, look at that. So far better, and we can have it on either side of the street there. We'll do this side for now. And I think while the one that we saw was closer to this side, if we look at sort of like how the game functions, the bus is going to stop kind of in the middle of where this is. So to give it enough space for the bus, I think we put it here. And then let's press B for a bulldozer, and let's go down to tool mode and select remove sub-elements. Let's just get rid of that light there because it's kind of blocking the way. So that looks really good there. But I had to re-detail this up, which is fine. And I wonder about the paths, because if I go in to remove one of the pathways here, I think it's going to be like super hard with all that on. If I remove decals, okay, cool, there it is. So you see what happens? It gets rid of it, and that's fine. Like, that looks okay. But I think coming down here, this looks far better in my opinion. I really like the look of that. So why don't we see if using Move It, let's come in with Move It and let's adjust our filters. Let's remove everything except nodes and segments. And so we can see the node right there. Can we see that node with manipulation mode as well? Because manipulation mode has a little bit of issue recognizing networks that are covered in decals. It can't really see through the decals too well. So it doesn't pick it up, which is fine. Let's see if we can drag this over. And I'll be honest too, this network is actually kind of hidden perfectly. We don't really even need to adjust it this much if we want, but just to push it in there, I mean, it's already invisible, which is great thanks to the detailing. So that one's good. Now this one's a little bit more problematic. So let's do the same thing. And notice how we get rid of that. Our stuff comes back, which is really nice. And we're able to push it in here. Now, I wonder if I could also hide this with decals. Because I bet you we could. We could be able to. And let's see if we can get... it seems like it's adjusting this curb and making that look a little bit jank. But that looks fine, that curb. Let's look at it from above. Yeah, that's fairly good. I like the look of that. That looks good. So we've got both of those adjusted. We'll come in with decals to hide that up. And then for this, we're going to have to draw out the surface to cover up this road and kind of get this detailed out nice. So why don't we hop into a little time lapse and detail this area up. And so that there already looks really, really good. Let's go ahead and see if we can clean some of this up as well too. I actually kind of like that there's a parking sign there. And I think, yeah, because we'll keep the stop sign here. I also had somebody mention about why I'm not using a crossing sign. Currently, unless I'm missing something, I have not been able to actually find a pedestrian crossing sign in-game. Feel free to correct me in the comments if I'm wrong about that. Would love for that to be the case where I'm wrong and there is one, but I've not been able to find one yet. When assets become a thing, obviously we would redo this and make it look better. Let's also touch up this corner here too. That looks awesome. On both sides, this looks really, really good. And honestly, it feels even more realistic in my opinion, and it really captures that Grand Deerandon, or I guess I say Grand Deerandon, I mean Grand Prairie look really, really nicely. It also seems that we're missing a tree here, which, that's good. Let's go ahead and get that tree in, and I also noticed that we're missing this spot too. So let's get that fixed up as well. Yeah, that looks awesome there. This looks really, really, really good. I'm testing out a new version of Anarchy as well. So I wanted to try out here. It's really cool. It allows props like this. So notice how this prop is missing. There clearly was something there. Coming in with the new Anarchy tool. Again, just testing it out so it's not out publicly. But I want to get some hype going around it because I'm really excited for the features that are being added. So if we go into our prop, any of the prop ones here, we'll choose landscaping. And you'll notice here on the left side, we've got Anarchy, and then we've got this hammer and wrench. And by clicking on this, it pops up this crazy looking window, which essentially shows the props both within assets and ones that we have placed that have Anarchy. And using this tool, we're going to make sure we're on radius selection and make sure that Anarchy is on. We can brush now within assets. So as you can see, there's the props that are missing, and we can get them Anarchy. And what that does is prevents props within buildings from vanishing, which is extremely, extremely useful because one of the things that I like most about City Skylines 2 is how detailed everything is, and the fact that all of these buildings come far more detailed than anything I had seen in City Skylines 1. Now, sure, there were some assets in City Skylines 1 that would come detailed, but it's not even remotely close to the level that we get here. And it sucks that a lot of the props seem to vanish, and it seems to be related to a collision feature, I would assume it's called. It's a feature that that I don't really like, but within the game to prevent collision, and thus it causes things to vanish. Now, you want to be careful with this tool when it does come out, as it will also show trees that are hidden by a network, and we want those to stay hidden. So we're only going to brush within the assets. Now, of course, if you do brush over some of those trees, you can go ahead and delete them, and they will be gone. Again, this is not, you can still delete stuff, which is fine. But yeah, we're just simply giving anarchy to the things within buildings so that they don't go missing, which is super, super useful. Makes an absolute game changer, honestly, because I love building stuff like this. But when buildings get too close to one another, they cause props to vanish, which is rather unfortunate. And now you can see as well, too, we did lose the tree age there. If I come back into my landscaping tab, we're going to go to head down here where it says change, and we're going to select change tree age tool. We're going to go to a single tree, and we're going to change its age so that it matches what this one is. We could also go with a uniform, so why don't we go with a mature tree? There, and I believe that this one already is mature. Yeah, as you can see, we clicked on it and it didn't change, and that looks awesome, and it's back to where it is. So with the main street here, I'm going to try out some detailing. Now, I want to use a little bit of inspiration from City Planner Plays, and this is something that I really like about City Planner's videos, is kind of showcasing you what we're going to do and then speed running through it with short clips here and there, because you don't need to be bored with the detail of me doing the same thing over and over and over again, but you do want to get the gist of sort of what I'm doing. For detailing here, one of the things I like to do is come in and add even more street level detail that you would see on roads like this. And this is a decal I love for the edge of roads there. Adds a little bit of wear to the asphalt and adds a ton of these like leaves that would be here year round, you know? The leaves die and they don't all just vanish, right? The leaves are kind of here year round. So we're going to add that decal as a trim to this road. It also seems that I'm missing some trees here, so I'll have to figure out what happened there. I think I might have just missed them in the last episode when I placed the planters. I hope it's not something weird where things are vanishing, but we'll figure it out and we'll get those trees added. So I come in with a line like that to detail it up. And then I do also like to add, especially now that we're using road wear adjuster, is some more wear to the roads. And one decal that I think looks cool, let's see how it looks on the main street. So in my selection of decals, we have a decal that has a yellow line on it. This one right here. So texture 53 at roadside. It has a yellow line on it. And so if I come in like this, it actually gives it a more worn look to it that I really, really think looks good. And we can do it on the other side here just so that the road is the same. Let me know what you think of that. I really like the aesthetic of it. So we're going to use that decal through here, and we'll see what it looks like as an end product. And the last piece that I want to add for a main street detailing. Now, this might be a bit heavy on the damage, so those that live in Alberta, let me know if you feel like this is realistic or if I'm going overboard. This could be a little bit more on the side of like a East Coast Canadian town, where the streets are much more worn than you would see out here on the West and specifically in Alberta. But again, Albertans, let me know if I'm going a bit too overboard, and I'm totally open to, you know, removing stuff that we've done. Just because we've done it doesn't mean that it's permanent. But you can grab a lot of these stain decals. So one decal that I really like here is this stain alongside with this one here. Looks really, really good and just kind of gives it that wear to it. But then there's a damaged decal. I wonder if I can find it here. This one is a game changer that I really like, but again, it might be a bit heavy on more of the East Coast side. Yeah, this one here. So again, let me know if I'm going, if this is overboard. But this one looks really good underneath here on this road. And I think personally this is probably going to be too much damage, especially for like a nice looking main street. But I think it does look really nice. But again, let me know. So we'll detail this up. I'm going to use the methods that we showed off here to detail up the entire main street like this. Let me know. I think I might even get rid of the stain decal as well, as I feel like that might just be overkill. So I might just go in, let's get rid of this and go decals only. Yeah, this one here, I think I might just get rid of that, as that might be a little bit too much. The bulldozer will have a hard time picking up that decal, so we're going to move them over here and delete them manually. So let me know what you think, if this is going to be too much, and let's go ahead and get this road detailed up. So here it is. Let me know if you think it's overkill, if it's a bit too grimy. I personally really like the look of it. I think it turned out really good. But yeah, let me know if there's things you think I could do better here. If you like it, if you love it, if you hate it. I want to hear from all of you on that. Now that we have this detailed up, let's figure out if we can do something here for this area. So I want to see if we can sort of figure out what would go here, like what kind of seating would be here. If we take a look around, we have a... I guess this shop's going to change, hey? Right now it's that chemical labs. We put some seating out front. But yeah, I guess that one's going to change depending on what it is. We haven't named this one yet. And this looks like that's got to be an apparel store, eh? Or like furniture or something, I feel like. And then way down here is the barber shop with the treasure trove comics. And then this one's just the hotel, eh? So there's not really like a big amount. I would assume that this is going to be a cafe no matter what, like 2 different cafes. Across the street is just the fire hall. And it is the office, which we put some modern seating here. So I guess we kind of would just do the same, hey? Sort of like a mirror effect of what we did on this spot. So I would put like some benches down and some planters. I would say let's lay down sort of our template for those that are following along or want to learn more about it. I'll place down some of the assets that I think we'll use. So I really like this one. Really like the flower pot one there because it's got wooden, like it's a wooden flower pot, which I think looks really nice. And then I think we could utilize some of these, the garden bed ones. So some pieces like this I think would look really good. I would like to put like full dining outside, but again, I just don't think like there's not enough shops. I mean, it's a giant surface parking lot. There's just not really enough shops. And I also want to edge the brick here, give it some trim. I think would look good with a nice vanilla net lane would look good there. But yeah, let's see what I can come up with. So we're gonna go ahead and detail this area out, and yeah, let's give it a shot.
That's all I do. That's all I do. Take it. Dark is it. Take it. Dark is it. That's all I do. That's all I do. Take it. Dark is it. Take it. Dark is it.
Thank you, my friend. You saved our lives.
So I think that turned out really well. And then for the edge trimming over here, I think what we can go with is the vanilla curve from G87. Now with these net lanes, I've had a lot of issues grabbing them when they're on top of networks like this, which I shared in my 2 realistic builds for the Southwest Pack video. So I'm going to draw this out over here. Here it is, and we are going to want to grab it in manipulation mode. Let's turn all our filters off except net lanes and select this one. Let's go ahead and make it to the correct height. So we're going to go to object height, select a node so that all these nodes are the same height. Let's now drag this net lane back over here and line it up as best we can. Right about there looks good. Holding the left alt key, let's drag this lane out. When you hold the left alt key, what it does is it snaps it to the line. So notice how it's perfectly lined up and it's not moving left or right. That's with the left alt key. Super useful. Now that that's done, and I mean, look at how much better that looks. Way nicer there. With that done, let's also find a decal that's going to help blend this a bit better so that we hide our secret little path. And honestly, this area is turning out great. Like if we come down, look at this. from street level view there. That is awesome for a little bus stop. Yeah, this has turned out beautifully. Beautifully. And I like the mixture of trees. But Colossal Order, we need more trees. Please, please give us more trees. Let's go ahead and find a decal for this area. And that'll sort of complete that main street. With that decal added, I also wanted to take some time to shout out a mod real quick. We're going to go into the options here, and this is vehicle variation packs. I've made a pack called Alberta, which changes the colors of the vehicles to match more of an Albertan style theme as best as I could. And this is things like service vehicles, which I can actually show you here. So if I go into this tab, we have some props. Let's go ahead and grab some service vehicles. So there's the fire engine, there's the mail, and then here is, let's grab the ambulance as well too. And we'll grab, I don't think I adjusted police in this one, but there's a police car just in case. And this will be for the North American themed vehicles. And I think I also changed the taxi as well too. Let's see if we have a taxi prop in here. I believe there should be... Got to be a taxi in here somewhere. Yeah. No, that's Bose. Okay, close. Ah, there it is. Taxi. Perfect. Let's actually place both of these because I think there's two different ones. So this, again, is what it looks like with the Albertan theme on it, which I think is fairly close. Again, I do need to change up the police and kind of see what classic... Well, I guess it would be BC RCMP. No, Albertan RCMP. I think the ambulance did pretty well, but I'll show you my two packs. So in options here, we'll switch it. And if you pay attention, I know it's kind of blurred out behind it, but if I switch it to Vancouver, Canada here, but I guess it doesn't change until I back out. So let's back out and let's see. And if I hit play, okay, yeah, there it is. Okay, cool. It took some time, but it did change. You'll notice the ambulance color changed now. This stays the same because Canada Post. Fire engine stays the same because I really like the black and red livery. So I guess it's just most noticeable on this because I haven't figured out the police yet because I don't think I can change like the full black on it. But I could see if I could try and do an RCMP one. Either way, it's a really, really cool mod called Vehicle Variation Packs, and it allows you to create your own pack. So in the description of this video, I'm going to have the link for the site, Create Your Own Pack, as well as a link to this mod. I think it's really cool, and I think it's an underrated mod that I haven't seen a lot of people talking about, because you can change service vehicles to match a certain style, and all vehicles that spawn from that service type, whether it be ambulance or fire, will match that livery color. A really, really cool mod. So I also wanted to mention for this street here that now that we've got this detailed up, we're going to continue this on. We're going to do this bus stop method over onto this street as well. But for now, for this episode, only this street here, this portion of Main Street will remain detailed at this level. And the reason being is I want to hear from you in the comments if you like this detailing or if it's a bit overboard. So I'm going to take your feedback and I'll decide if I apply this level of detail to the whole street, which will just be little tidbits of footage. In a future episode, I won't, force you to watch the whole thing get detailed up again. But we will apply it to the rest of the street. So one thing that I'm trying to get better at here is detailing with dead foliage. It adds such a cool touch of realism, and it's something you totally see in an alleyway like this. I think it really makes it come to life, and it's something that I realized I hadn't been doing much of. but it's something that's definitely would be in the backs of the alleyways here. It's not something we'll do everywhere, of course, when it makes sense, but it really makes this alleyway come to life. Another thing I like to do for grass detailing is taking the cultivated green bush number 3, and we're going to go ahead and adjust the changes in rate, or I guess the rate in which the elevation changes. Perfect. And we're going to go down the smallest amount. I like to go down about 0.8. Let's see, we might even do 0.1, yeah. And I add this as a nice little grass texture to these areas. You just come in, since we don't have assets for grass, and just use this bush to just touch it up a bit to give it a grass texture. I think it looks really, really nice. You can go crazy with it here. Like, obviously, this area near the alleyway would probably have a little bit more grass. Get it in a little bit there, and just like that. And you can adjust the heights as needed so we can gain a little bit more elevation for this area where it wasn't showing through as much. But I think it ends up giving it a nice little pop there. And if we come in like an area around here, and especially if you get it over the curbs, like, you don't have to draw within the lines for this, because it gives it a more realistic look when you don't. And look at how much better that looks. And then, of course, we can come in with our flowers here. And let's adjust the sizes here, because this would be a more cultivated area. Let's put in... Ooh, I like the coloring on that one, especially for the front. Yeah, that looks really good. And then I think is this one. That one's a little bit bigger. That one is nice, though, but that's a little bit too big. We could go in with this one. Yeah, that looks good. I like the look of that. Let's go in. Boom, like that. Cool, and that looks really good there. So I got to figure out what I want this building to be. Got a big, huge parking lot here. It could be a restaurant, eh? Totally could, with like the main doors there. There's also side doors here. Like, it could also just be an office. What does it identify as in game? It is no, yeah, Fresh Pots. It is it's a coffee shop, actually. So it's a commercial building, eh? That yeah, I could see that. Okay, we'll go with like a restaurant vibe. Yeah, we'll figure out some signs for it. I think also as well too, we're gonna do a wow. Also, sorry, distracted here, but look at the coloring of that in like the bright sun now that we're out of winter. That thing is heckin' awesome. Yeah, wow, that is super cool. Oh, this also reminds me too at this portion. Let's keep this ADHD fueled distraction going here. I had somebody request on a live stream, so we do live streams on Mondays and Fridays. It's on Twitch and YouTube now, so yes, you can watch on YouTube, in which we're detailing out a small Ontario town by popular demand, which is over on the live streams again every Monday and Friday at 10 a.m. PST. But for the live streams, somebody had mentioned for this series in particular to go ahead and do this water tower, a water tower related build, as it looks just like the one in Red Deer. So this will happen. A little bit of a spoiler warning. It will happen. I think that'll be a super, super fun build. I also don't know, like, I want it to be kind of visible. I think off in the distance. Yeah, look at that, hey? Oh, that's so good. That's so good. Yeah, that's probably going to be the spot for it. That's kind of banger. We also have to do, like, I want the suburbs to be based around this. So I think at some point, let's come in and do, like, a suburban, like, I guess that's the suburbs. let's get the suburbs in out over here and sort of use them around this and see what we can pull off. So I figure for this shop, let's go with Damien Bite here. I think will look really, really cool. And it gives that kind of vibe of, like, I know currently it's a coffee shop, but I think more of, like, I don't know, I get more of a restaurant vibe personally from it. So we'll put the shop sign out front, and yeah, let's make this one into a Damien Bite. Now that we have the Damien Bite detailed up, and pretty much the alleyway is coming together beautifully, really, really detailed. It's looking so, so good back here. What I think I want to do is let's grab the power lines, get these connected, and let's get some suburban homes over here. So let's start with the power lines. And again, for the power lines, I forget what height we were using here. So let's see if we can match this. We're going to go up by the small increment. Let's go up to 3 because I think that was close. Oh, it's even higher. Is it 5? Yeah, 5. Okay, cool. And then what I like to do is, again, drag the power line out over here. Let's turn off all the snapping. Keep it in the middle so it doesn't connect to a road, because we're actually going to use a move it to drag it over to line it up. So we want this one will connect with that light, that street light there. That's kind of like hard to see, but that one. So that'll be 1, 2, and I think is it just 2? Just the 2 street. There's one on the corner here, but we'll skip that one. So yeah, there's just the 2. So we'll drag this out. And what we're going to do is we're going to hop into move it, turn on our filters, and grab the power line. We're just going to drag it over here into this so that it lines up with the traffic light. Although, I just realized something. That's in the middle of a parking lot. So that's not ideal. Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to drag this one, and we're going to drag it over here and put it into that little spot. And then we'll drag this one. Let's also turn off decals. Let's drag this one, which is also blocking parking. Okay, perfect. This is going perfectly. Let's drag this over here. Yeah, that's good. And then what we're going to do is say bye-bye, again, using Better Bulldozer with the remove sub-elements. Say bye-bye to the street lights. We're going to open up Find It here. And we're going to go into our street lights, which are here, the roadside props. So we'll activate that one. We'll remove the word Damien from it. And we're just going to scroll down a little bit until we find traffic, or street lights, I should say. And the one I like, yeah, actually, that's the perfect one. So we'll need 1, 1, and we're going to use Move It to get this even more accurate here. So let's adjust this one. And we're going to bring this guy over here into this. Like so. But now, I think I can, because this is a prop. Yeah, nice. I can also hide that base, so that's hidden really well into that. And it looks awesome. It looks really, really cool. And this is a common thing that you'll see in alleyways in Canadian cities, especially out here in the West. It's very, very common. Sink this guy in as well, too. And then, boop, boop, push it down. And that looks awesome. Yeah, that looks great. That alleyway is looking super, super cool. And I think this might be the way we do it from now on, which is drawing the power lines out and using the lights ourselves. Now, let's go ahead and figure out the suburban homes, and I want to use the Southwest assets, so we're going to open up Find It. We're going to go into our signature buildings, and we're going to enable just the Southwest. So let's do Southwest, and we're going to type in a low here. Then we're going to select the residential tab, and boom, this should just be the low homes. So let's go ahead and find some low homes that will look nice, suit the area, and kind of fit this vibe. Now, I think also probably we might just end up doing a lot of the similar homes here, because it wouldn't make sense that architecturally a lot of these would be similar. So we'll probably follow this blueprint that we set with these gorgeous Southwest homes here. So yeah, let's get some homes in, and then we're going to detail up the Royal Canadian Legion. And then after that, it's time to tackle. And I saved this for the last part of the episode. We're going to tackle this. So we're going to have a conversation about this, because actually this looks really cool and it's really growing on me. But we're going to have a conversation at the end, and I'm going to need help from all of you in the form of a poll that will be live when this video goes live, but we'll talk about that at the end. Let's focus on the suburban homes and the Royal Canadian Legion. Okay, so for the Canadian Legion, what I think we're going to do, so let's hop over here. I placed down the asset just to take a look at it. This is the Southwest High School, and it comes with this asset as an add-on here, and this is the small classroom building. Now, I don't have a way, because I don't have static ploppables for this pack yet, so I don't have a way to place this without it having the school functionality and us sinking in a commercial asset in there. So for the time being, this will be a school. It'll have 200 students coming in to the Legion, which is awesome. Love that. But I think this asset better suits the vibe that I'm going for here a lot. And we'll put like the Royal Canadian Legion. I also wonder if I can do like the font in that arching. It's going to be tough, really tough, but I think I can pull it off. So let's go ahead and use Picker on this, and we should get just the sub building. Perfect. And then let's bring this over here, because I think this is going to work out great over here. So let's move it to this. Boom. And let's delete everything off of it. Delete the surface. Yeah, no, I'll do my own surface. Let's get rid of that. And we don't even need the... Actually, we'll keep the lights, just so I know, because people are going to interact with this building. So you do still have to be cautious of sort of the blueprint, or the footprint, I should say, of the building. Let's go ahead with sub-buildings, get rid of the trees. And then, yeah, that's a good start there. Cool. All right, and then let's drag this over. Let's get rid of this one. Let's turn off our decals. Boom, drag this guy over. Although I should have kept the decals on, because now I don't know where they are. We'll find them. It'll be fine. We will find them. We're going to bulldoze this guy. And then let's drag this over and see how this kind of works in the footprint. It's going to be tight. It's going to be a tight fit for sure. Yeah, it's going to be tough, but we'll make it work. We're going to have to bulldoze a home in the name. Yeah, I know. You didn't like it. That's fair. Not a big fan of it either. We have a huge parking lot over here, but I think we'll also need a parking lot here for the Legion. But this building looks like that vibe slaps. That's oh man, that's gonna look awesome. It's given kind of police vibes. Not gonna lie, but I think we can fix that. I think we can adjust it, give it more Legion vibes. And I like that it's got the blue roof, because I believe the one in Grand Deerandon, wow, I keep mixing it up. Grand Deerandon, Grand Prairie, I believe also had a blue roof too. But yeah, that looks cool. So then let's go ahead. Let's adjust it because I think it's just slightly off. You know what? Let's do rotated center. So it perfectly matches that. That's great. And then let's line it up here again so the lights are right to it there. That looks about good. Yeah, I'm pleased with that. That looks really good. All right, let's get this detailed up. So we're going to add the logo to it as well, which we can go ahead and add now. And this is in my pack that's on the workshop, which is also linked in the description of every single one of my videos. Let's go with, so they're under here, under wall decor, and at the very bottom, boom, there's the Legion. And again, for placing these, I hadn't mentioned this yet, but for placing these, so you had these two options in snapping here. You had the snap to the surface of an object or snap upright. You want just snap to the surface of an object when placing decals and graffiti and things like that on the building. Wonder if I can get this in, like, that would look cool in the window. But if I place that there, can I push this decal in? So let's select only decals for this one and see if I can push that in a bit. That's like kind of behind it. Not really. But that still does look, yeah, from the right angle, that still looks good from the right angle. I like that. I'm okay with that. And then can we get one that's like up above here as well too? That's like right in the way there. Line up to be right about there. Yeah, that works. Okay, cool. And then we'll have the big one at the back here. Which I don't want to go too crazy because we do have to fit... Well, actually, I might be able to work around it. Let's do something crazy. Let's do something huge at the back. There it is. So you know that it's the Legion. I got the Legion stuff at the front. Although I do think for the Legion at the front... Yeah, I do feel like it would also just be a bigger logo like this on the wall instead of the stuff like this. Yeah, I feel like that looks better. Okay, cool. So we got the two logos on, and then we'll need a name for it, and we'll detail it up with a surface, which I think I'm going to go with like an older brick. And I don't want to use the same brick that we've been using all over here with this one, but I think we can go with something, even like the red, just the red asphalt looks really nice. But I think we'll go with something a bit older. So I'm going to go ahead and get this detailed up. We're going to use a surface for here. And the parking, I think, will be on another episode because it's essentially going to be a part of whatever this block becomes. That'll be on another episode. But yeah, let's go ahead and get this Legion detailed up. Now that we have the front entrance detailed up, let's do some landscaping. And then I think it's going to be time to tackle the Royal... How am I going to fit it? Royal Canadian... Yeah, we'll have to go with a smaller logo, I feel like. For like the font of it, it'll say Royal Canadian Legion, kind of in like a nice autosave, kind of in like an archway format. Yeah, we'll see what I can pull off. Let's go ahead and get the fronts and the sides detailed up. Let's landscape. All right, now that we've got the Legion landscaped, which looks amazing, this took way too long placing all these little pieces by hand, but I think it was well worth it because this is looking great. Really, really good. Let's also go ahead and remove that streetlight. We don't need one there or here. Yeah, that's probably fine. Get rid of that. The one-way sign is fine. We don't need that there. That's fine. Now, yeah, let's get rid of this one as well, too, because we've already got the ones over there. With that added, I think I also want to... Oh, is that the... There it is, the OG decal. One of the OGs, we found it. There's another one right there. Boom. Awesome. I'm going to place some parking in the back, and I'm going to get the lettering done up for the Royal Canadian Legion. And I figure for the parking, because I don't think this is going to fit, I think we can do some sideways parking spots here, maybe for, like, staff in the back. So we'll place a couple of these sideways ones here, which are super useful. We'll go with like 3 of them. Come in with move it, turn our filters on. Let's select the building. And actually, we can adjust the filters to be building only. There we go. And so I'm thinking something like this where they can park up against that. And again, this will be stuff for like staff only kind of vibes. And it's proven very, very difficult to select this with move it. Good, good, good. Very difficult, so I'm going to delete those. When Move It decides not to work, we come up with modern solutions. And that's what they say, right? Modern problems require modern solutions, so look at that. Far easier to select it there. And then let's go ahead, and I'll give a little bit of gap as well, too. There, I just think that'll end up looking nicer if they're not, like, bunched up right against each other. And we can get the final one in there. And, yeah, it looks good. It looks really good. Let's also see... Yeah, I guess the terrain, like the terrain's just going to be, it is what it is. Like it's going to be jank. That's just kind of how this game is. But that's fine. Let's also see if I can just select that and go to the object height. That change it. Oh yeah, that's actually far better. Okay, cool. And then yeah, let's get the lettering for the Royal Canadian Legion done. And I guess you'll find out if I succeed or fail with the arched lettering, and if it ends up being not arched, we'll see. And let's also get a surface here for the parking. So there it is. It's my best attempt at that. I know like a little bit jank over there. I feel like I could do better, but that didn't turn out too bad. It's not great, but it's not as terrible as I thought it would turn out. But there it is, the Royal Canadian Legion. I think this turned out beautifully. What an awesome addition to our city here. Really, really pleased with how that turned out. So now that the Legion is added, it's time for the... a nice little train backup going here. Good, 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 good. It is... What happened here? Is that... Oh my god. Is the van... Is this van gonna... They're gonna go for it? They're going for it. Heck yeah. I mean, you gotta... Wow. Okay, awesome. All right, so now that that's done, let's go ahead and take a look at this. So, here it is in the previous build, the historic fire hall, which the more I look at it, the more I'm like, damn, this thing slaps. We really shouldn't touch it. It's awesome. But I have something to try out. So, we're going to come in here. I'm going to save the game, Grand Deerandon, Alberta, 43, and we're going to call this EE, Eastern European, so that we know that that has the fire hall. Pop a save, so it's as is, and this is why I'm saving it for the last build, so that when I go in to shoot footage for the next episode next week, that I can know what save I'm loading into, and I won't lose anything. If we did this at the start, right, and I reloaded that, I would lose all the detailing we did. So, I'm going to bulldoze all of this, which I know is crazy. This turned out well. I like it, but I think we have a better asset that we can use. So, here it is again in its current glory. Looks amazing. Love it. Love the look of it. Especially with the oaks that are grown in now. Like, that feels really, really good. But we're going to bulldoze all of this in favor of this asset here, which, let's see if we can find it now, actually. So I believe it was a office building. So let's go into regular buildings, go into office, and I believe it's one of the, which do we still have? Yeah, we're still on the southwest tab. Nice. So it's one of these office buildings, and, well, actually, I think it might have been northeast now that I think about it. I believe it was not southwest, it was northeast. So let's flip that one, and let's go ahead and see if we can find the asset here. And there it is. Look at how good this one looks for the fire hall. Let's also see, because they have a couple color variants. Yeah, this one I think is the closest, although that deep red does look kind of nice, eh? Deep red goes kind of hard, but I feel like this is like the closest to what we saw in real life there. And look at this asset. How cool is this? And I think right off the rip, it's spot on. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 modified doors, but you can see the old archway there of what used to be. Like, this would have likely been the garage door there for the fire hall, but they modified it for the restaurant. And I think that even though it's different than what we had already, like, that looks great in the skyline. That looks so, so awesome. It's this like big central fire headquarters that's been sort of revived and changed into a restaurant now. And I think if we put this, place it over top for now. How does that look beside? Yeah, see, that looks awesome. Beside that building, like, that looks great. That's so good. So yeah, I think that's what we're going to go with. So I'm going to build and detail this up for the final build of this episode here on Francis Pega Megabao Boulevard. And let me know, again, OG Eastern European or the new, shout out to City Planner Plays who brought this into fruition. Let me know. We'll get the build done. There will be a poll live. So check the community tab. There'll be a poll with photos of this version here completed and whatever we end up coming up with here. And that poll will be live when this episode's live. So go check it out. Let me know. The poll will decide the winner of the Firehouse build, at which point we will begin the competition for a little design logo for it that I think will be super fun. And there'll be a winner that will get a prize for it as well, too. But let's focus on first figuring out what fire hall we want to do. So I've tried to do a decent cut here of showing you what we're doing without overdoing it, as a lot of this footage that you're seeing here is very similar detailing to what we did in the last episode with the original idea for the Prairie Firehouse restaurant. But I wanted to still give you guys the feel of it and sort of show, because it is a little bit different. A lot of the ideas are similar, but, you know, it is still a little bit of a different build here. So some of the stuff you're going to see is just cut out because it would have been, I don't know, I feel like it would have been a little bit boring to see a lot of the similar stuff that we did in the last episode, but I gotta say, I'm really excited for how this one turns out. So we're coming in with this brick wall here. We're gonna adjust the heights of it, and I came up with a cool idea when I was adding this brick wall that I thought, could we pull off some custom stairs and give this area where the patrons would be a little bit of height, just to give it a little bit of elevation pop. And I think this works out really well. So we use those wall assets from the UK pack sunk them in, pushed them together to create the look of stairs, adjusted the height of a wall beside it to kind of hide some of the jank, adjusted the other wall, and I think it worked out perfectly. The hard part was figuring out how I wanted to do the base, because I can't raise up like a surface, couldn't raise up a decal, right? Instead, we have to use a prop. So using this miniature PO feature, we were actually able to flip down one of the UK walls that has a similar brick texture, but a little bit different, just to give it a little bit of a pop. And look at how good that looks and how well that fit. Now it gets even cooler because with the citizen props, they will stick to the surface of an object. The prop being an object, it means that we're able to detail this area out with people even though it's on a height, which is really cool. And the finished product of this turns out absolutely phenomenal. Now I'm using some parks here at the front of it, as I think that will help drive people into the area, which is cool because the building itself functions. People will come and visit it, but it is an office building. I figured those parks would help bring in more people and more traffic to the area, which is cool. So they're functional while also making the front look really detailed and beautiful. Now for the finishing touches, which is detailing out the road and trying to help blend it a little bit better with the road that it attaches to make the curb cut out there for the parking feel more authentic. So welcome to the live play city showcase portion of the video, and here we are at the redesigned firehall restaurant, and curious to see what y'all think. Curious to see if you like this better. Personally, I think this is much better. I like it a lot. I like the other one as well too a lot, but this just feels much more authentic and realistic to the type of area that we are basing this off of. Especially there's just so many parts of it where, like, you've got the garage doors in the back, which have been modified with the windows here that probably used to be, this whole thing was a garage door for fire trucks in and out. And then at the front as well too, you would have had the bay doors you can see with the arches here. So they've likely modified this, but this would have been the bay door there for the fire engines. And the thing as well too with it is it's just like little modifications, right? But you can see it also has the same amount, I think, too, like the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Same as the one in Grand Prairie, Brandon, Manitoba, which is cool. And I'm stoked with the detailing that we've got here. The hedge that's in front of it for whatever plot will go beside it. Using more of that grass overgrowth. Got people hanging out. The heaters out there. Because even, you know, some of those summer nights can get kind of cold, right? And so people hanging out there. I was stoked that we were able to get the people. I wasn't sure if we'd be able to, like, raise them up. Or I guess it's not really raising them up, but basically they snap to the surface of an object, thus allowing us to raise the people props, which I wasn't sure that we'd be able to pull that off. And then the custom steps, which, I don't know, it worked out well. They can be a bit jank at angles, but overall I'm really pleased with that. And it just adds this little pop of elevation and realism to a build like that, and just kind of coming up with our own ways to do things in this game until we get proper props. And then the 2 parks here, which I think will also help to drive people into this area, which will be cool. Got the parking lot all set up here, which I'm gonna have to come through with the anarchy because of the decal work that I've done, it's causing some of the stuff like the decals on the parking lot to disappear. So I just got to come through with that anarchy brush that will clean that up. And yeah, the decal work, it's growing on me. I feel like I could still come in here and do a little bit of a better job, but you know, it's growing on me. That does blend it really well, where it like just looks like a proper cutout. Like that looks, you know, it looks sick. I like it. I like it a lot. And then, of course, like the foliage detailing on the sides here in the back lot, which now would be for like deliveries for the restaurant, which is really cool. But yeah, overall, really loving this build. So let's go take a look at Main Street here. And this is where we started everything today with this Main Street one. I know I've asked a lot of questions in this video, but yeah, let me know all your thoughts. What did you love? What did you hate from this episode? Really stoked with how the Main Street turned out here. Like I'm this one probably my favorite build. Actually, probably the fire hall. The fire hall one turned out sick. Oh man, the Legion turned out really well as well too. So I loved everything that we did today. I'm stoked on this, but I do have to find a way to blend these lines better. So maybe we don't go with that. I don't know. I'm sure you guys will share your feedback on what you loved and what you didn't like, and we can go from there. Because again, yeah, I'm the one building the city, but this is our project together. Where I want you to feel like you're in corporate and like your comments are heard, and your inspiration and ideas for the city are implemented here, right? The Legion turned out so well. Look at this. That one turned out so well. I was a bit worried, like the blue. And maybe we can go in and mess with the coloring. I'll keep it for now. But yeah, really stoked with this. And then we got more, well, 2 homes. We're getting there. The suburbs are coming alive with the 2 homes. But I think it fits in really well. And then the side park in there, I think, turned out really well. I didn't want to make this too grimy. I think it like looks good as it is there. Again, the logo, you know what? The more I look at it, the more it's growing. It's growing on me. And like that build, like look at our skyline here. I know it's not much. Right? This is a humble, small town in Alberta, but it really feels like, especially from this view. I'm curious too. Let's hop into here. Let's adjust and see what it looks like with a little bit of sunset action. Or I guess sunrise action is going to make it look pop even more. Yeah. Look at that aesthetic. The glow off of the Grand Deerandon Brewing Company. Little cylinder. Like that looks so good. Yeah, this looks awesome. And like this map at sunset, or again, sunrise, I guess in this case. Wow. wow. This is a like 100 out of 10 map. Yeah, that looks awesome. Really cool. So yeah, there's the Grand Deerandon Legion, the Royal Canadian Legion of Grand Deerandon, Alberta. And then I adjusted this to the color on it. So I put gray at the top there with the red, which yeah, I don't know. There's something about it where I kind of like that better. But our Shoppers Drug Mart. And then there will be the water tower build, which maybe we take a break from downtown. We hop into the suburbs next episode. Who knows? And we got to do Gasoline Alley at some point, which I think is going to fit perfectly by this interchange over here. I think that's the perfect spot for it. And here's a little overview as well, too. I know we didn't add much roads-wise. We got all the names in, which is really cool, though. And yeah, this is kind of like the overview of the layout so far. And I like that we're getting a lot of these like awkward angles. Like this road and this road, they're not perfectly straight. It also causes this road is not straight as well to that alleyway. So you've got like, it looks really cool. Just breaking up the grid, these little things that you can do to break up that perfect grid, they add a nice touch of realism to a build. But yeah, that's it for today for the Live Play City Showcase for Grand Deerandon, Alberta. And yeah, let's head to the outro and the ending cinematics. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today and checking out this video. It means a lot, and a big warm welcome to all the new subscribers that have found this little space. If you want to keep up to date with all of my content, including the new Twitch and YouTube dual live streams, then check out the Discord linked in the description of this video. A massive shout out to the Patreon supporters who help make content like this possible. And if you would like early access to my videos, consider checking it out. We have new videos every Monday and live streams here on YouTube every Monday and Friday. I'm Canadian Moose, and this was Grand Deerandon, Alberta.
I've got a strange one here. I'm not sure what to make of it. something that really works.